Okay. Well, hello, flea market coin hunter. Hello, Lincoln. How the heck you guys? Yeah, I'm just doing a test. Trying to figure out this, what's it called? The OBS, and I'm having just having a fit with that. Yeah, how you like the camera, or not the camera, but the new lighting. Hey, Lincoln Center Coins. Glad to see all you guys here. I sort of kind of was, like I said, trying to figure out how to use that OBS, and yeah, an old dog trying to learn a new trick. That's all it is. Well, is it too bright? Yeah, well, I got new lights, so that's why I'm wondering if it's too bright or if it's okay. Well, I'm glad it was better than last night. I guess the audio is okay, but I haven't changed my audio, so. Yeah, well, I bought it's a, well, I actually bought all new lights because I agree it looked way yellow, and my wife was on her computer. Good, I'm glad to hear that. So, but I took and my wife was on her computer last night, and we was talking Skype over to the Philippines, and looked yellow in that too. So I thought, what the heck, I would take and get us some new lights and see if that one helped. But still, like I say, having a little bit of a problem with. Anybody out there know how to use the OBS system? Because I sure as hell don't. I'm guessing nobody knows how to use the OBS system. Let's see, flea market coin hunter. Now, who are you? I'm not up to you guys like Dustin is. So you guys are gonna have to sort of kind of introduce yourself. Slightly massive, yeah, I could use that. Okay, Lincoln Center. Okay, I get that. Victor Cruz. Okay, how you doing, Victor? Let's see. What are you guys doing up so late, anyways? It's 1 o'clock here. I didn't figure anybody would be awake. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, okay, yeah, James, I remember you. Oh, well, heck, guys. See, I tried using the OBS, and I don't know why my computer just wouldn't take and pull it for some reason. And now I don't know why, but the chat keeps, well, let's see, there's something I'm doing to get that chat to come off. Ooh, yeah, you better get to bed. That wouldn't be good, Victor. I didn't even know anybody was on my channel. I've looked through about 3,000 Lincoln pennies circulated today. Found a few varieties, but by the way, yeah, I've got a okay, good night, Victor. You have a nice evening. I was gonna say, James, I've got a scope coming. I took and I had 3 scopes last year. The one scope I still have that I take pictures of are it's on my old computer because I can't get it. It won't, for some reason, there's something in the programming. It won't work on my new one or my newer one, which my new one now is old. But my old computer's over, yeah, you're telling me all of them will blind you. Make sure you keep both eyes open whenever you're looking through your loop. I know that took, and I wish I'd have been told that a long time ago. That's why I get to wear these now. I've got a few dimes here I took and cherry picked. Let's see, what do I have here? I got, let's see, okay, a man without a loop. That ain't no good. Minor RPM on a 59. Ooh, I got a nice 52S RPM. I believe it's RPM 1. I wish I had my scope and I could show you. Here's one, I'm not certain, it's a 57D, and it's definitely an RPM, but there's more going on than that. And then a 49D RPM, but it's a minor one as well. So I only had the few that I checked at when I cherry picked at a coin store last time I was there. Actually, I've been going through a few tokens too. I don't know if you know much about tokens, but I've been learning how to play with them. Oh, heck. So you just use an iPhone. That makes it difficult for me to learn. So what are you looking for on the dimes tonight, Victor? Or, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know why I called you Victor, James. Did you get a bag of dimes or something? Okay, who else is in our room? Oh, hello, Christine. Long time no see. Haha, it's not Dustin, is it? Nice, 43 full bands. $1 snake. Wow, okay. I'll say somewhere I took, and I just had a 1945S come back 66. They wouldn't, I'm sorry, it was a 45 plain. It came back at 66. I think it's only a 65 grade, but I believe it's full bands, and they wouldn't give me that. Let's see, countdown to June. Yeah, hell, I got June here, but I got 1:06 a.m. My goodness, I can't believe everybody's up so late. And say, I haven't seen you online, Christine. You haven't been nowhere that I've seen. Guys, I vape. Yeah, December 1970 was just here. Not much information on the full bands. What do you want to know about the full bands? Yeah, Christine, I can tell you, I can feel you there. I'm just sitting here relaxing. How you guys like my picture back there on the board? My birthday was just here, and that was March 7th. Well, my birthday was just here, but that was May 26th. I try to forget those things these days. Values on full bands, you can get those at pcgs.com. All you got to do is look for it in their price. Well, the price guide will give it to you. That's the best place to look for them as far as prices for your bands. So besides, let's see here. Well, we took them. Well, not a problem. Okay, I'm not certain. So you found, okay, how many quarters you need? I mean, are you finding special quarters or just? That's okay, Christy. I was just sitting here. I'm trying to figure out how to use OSB, hoping somebody knew how to use it. Okay, good night. Oh, on the ground quarter. Well, that's a good thing. Yeah, I guess I could take and play like Sylvia from time to time up late nights, just talking about bullshit. I'm trying to think. Last thing I found was a penny. That was at the when I went to Walmart today looking for a new light. You know what? I've already looked at 2 videos from for OSB on YouTube, and I've tried to intertwine it, and every page I'm seeing, they're not taking it. They're just not working for me. All right, I don't have the same screen that what they're showing me on YouTube. Now I don't know because I've got a personal that I'm using right now, as opposed to, because it seems to me when I looked at this here, it was different than the one I used with when I was uploading onto CoinOp. Found a 46 penny on Sunday. Well, heck, that's good. You need some more? I don't know why, but let's see here. A target destination. That's pretty cool. Let's say I've got thousands of, well, not thousands, but I got a bunch of. Y'all want some pennies? Here's just some pennies. Gosh, I just take, whenever I'm sitting around not doing nothing, I go through and look at old ugly pennies. So, where'd you get the Mercury dimes at, by the way? I have a whole box of new ones. I'm assuming that's pennies, $1 snake. Oh, okay. I've got them by the boxes. I don't. I took and I think I got about 10 boxes around here. I just the new ones. I don't know. I've got a cigar box full of pennies right behind the computer that you can't see. And then here, I'll show you guys something pretty neat if you're interested. I took and I had a collection come through. This is interesting, I think. An old collection. And this is how the guy separated them. Check that out. Now, there's probably a good, I want to say, what? 1, 2, 6, 9, 12, about $15 right there. Well, Lincoln, you're about the same age as me. I just turned 58. But this was older than me and you. I mean, we're talking, this guy must have been collecting, honestly, in the 50s. I'll show you in a minute, and you'll see why. I mean, and I got these out of what he, like I say, they were all in these boxes. Every one of them. But look at these here. These are still pennies. Okay, these are the 43s. And I mean, we're talking PDs and S's. And I'm getting, they're nice. I mean, they're really nice. It's I wish I had the microscope, but that's the one thing I don't like about this stupid thing. It's so hard to get them in and out. That's the one thing I don't like about it. I mean, they're a little circulated. My grandfather got me started, so we're close to the same there. Let's see here. Try and get out of. And by the way, they go back into the 30s. Let's see, what's this in here? Oh, Lincoln, you ought to remember this. Back in the day, they used to varnish the coins. Well, I've got about 30 or 40 of them that are like that. This is varnished, and I've got to take and I'm gonna have to get some denatured alcohol to get that off. But there's a bunch of them. Let's see, that one I just showed you. Best part about it is you don't have to worry about getting fingerprints on them. Here's another one. Let's see what. Well, that one, the first one I showed you was a 44S, and here's a nice 42D. So, and again, it's hard to tell, but they're varnished. So, those are pretty cool. But I've got probably 50 of them I've got to get cleaned up. Listen, if you got something else to do, go ahead, because like I said, I've got to. I don't know what I want to do. That's just a big old box there. 2 pieces of wood. Yeah, I've been, you was talking about your Roosevelt, or I'm sorry, your Mercury dimes. I've got a set of Mercury dimes I'm putting together. I've been working on for over 15 years, but I'm putting together an uncirculated set. I've not been in a hurry because I've been very particular about it. It was appraised really good about when I got my divorce about 5-6 years ago, and they gave me a good appraisal of it. But I've got 11 left to get a complete. Well, right now 90% of them are uncirculated, and they go back into the 20s. I got a lot of the mint marks and stuff, but I still need 11, and I haven't been able to find them. And I go to big shows, and I still haven't found them. But like I said, I'm not in no hurry. So, see, that's the one thing I don't like about also this here stupid YouTube, I guess, private. I can't see, I just can't see a whole lot of who's there and who's not. I know there's 2 people in the room. I just don't know who the second person is. And no, this is just a friend of mine. He has a vape company, and he makes me my own vape. So, what else do you collect, Lincoln? Yeah, I know they are. It seems like the Mercury dimes. I don't know. We was talking. Me and some dealers were talking at the last show. Sadly, but it seems to me like a few of the older people have passed away, because I guess it should be just taken in. But still, a few people must have passed away because they took and there's just a big amount of there's just been a whole lot new product coming out. Proof such just about everything. Do you do anything with more of the exotics, like the tokens or metals, or things of that nature? Hello, Christopher Scott. I can't believe all you people have taken and gotten on my private channel. Christopher Scott, you know anything about OBS? How to run it? Because I sure don't. That's what the whole purpose of me doing this. I started out by running that, and I couldn't get it to work. I thought maybe if I ran the stream, I could get it, and I could figure out the stream, but I can't even figure out how to put the stupid stream into the OBS. But I'll have to talk with Ken about that. No, that's okay. I appreciate the try. Lincoln, you do anything with wood and nickels? I'm like Ken. I could show you almost anything you'd like to see. In fact, here I'll show you a metal I took, and I don't know if you guys are interested in any kind of metals, but I got some. These are Filipino metals made up. See, this one's dated 19. This is the First World War. Let's see there. Yeah, these here. Let's see here. Okay, which one don't you know about? The tokens or the Canadian coins? Because I'll be honest, I've got bags of tokens, and I've learned a lot about them. I don't know everything, but I've learned a lot about them. But man, that's almost like just coins in and of itself. Knowing everything about them is really a pain. Got me a nice little. Somebody was just talking about court. Man, that's too bright to even show. That's a nice blast white 49D uncirculated Washington core. You can't even see that. Foreign coins, you know what? Since I got married to my Filipino wife, she does our foreign coins department, and she could tell you a bunch about it. I took in here. I'll show you something. I don't know if I'll be able to get it to show up on this. Like I said, guys, a couple days I'll be having my new scope, and I'll be able to take and I'll be able to play with the scope. I hope. This is I think it's a 16, yeah, 1916 half mark. Can you see that cut down there? There's a real nice cut on it. I wish I had a scope so I could show you. Yeah, see that thing? Yeah, this little camera is just too stupidly. It's just too hard to tell. And actually, this here's a 18, and it's got a retain cut where the mark is on the side there. It should be a retained cut right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. So, but I do have foreign coins. I have a lot of foreign coins. Let's see here. 1899 Morgan Micro O. I don't know if you guys know anything about that. You know, I took whenever I had tokens, Lincoln, I took and I thought the same thing. In fact, for probably a year and a half, I got them and I threw them back in a pile. I'll put it to you this way: it'd be worthy of you taking and looking them up. In fact, if you can remind me, I will take and I will get you a link. Just remind me on YouTube, or I'm sorry, on Facebook, and I'll give you a link to a place that once you learn how to use their website, they've got some wonderful. I don't know if I can see. I don't think I can take and I'm gonna try something, guys. I hope I don't lose you. Let me see if I can do something here, though. I hope you guys are still there because I'm using an old-fashioned. Yeah, I say the old-fashioned, but let's see here. That's not it. I'm trying to find that token. Oh, here we go. See if I can get this. Yeah, that's the one. I don't think I lost you as good. Here, go to that website. Look at that, Lincoln. You'll take and that'll give you if you want to find some tokens, that'll give you information on them. Now, it does not give value. That you have to take, and once you find your token and you got your catalog numbers in that, go to you or to eBay and research it there. And I'll tell you what, you will find. I took and I had one. I start all my tokens at $4.95. Let them go. Don't care what they go for. But believe it or not, just because they go for, say, if you see one and you know it's worth some money, which I didn't know this, we put one on and it went up to about $30 pretty quick. And it set at $30, $30. And within the last hour, it went up to like $100. And I was going crazy. It's like, wow, that's great. And then I took and the last 5 minutes, it ended up that token went for $540 or $50, I think. So yeah, I took and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I didn't know a token was worth that much. but I've had 3 of them that's really went that much. But I'm finding out that they are, see, the rarity on those on tokens are just the opposite of the rarity that we get on coins as far as the R value. So if you see an R value of 10, for some of your coins and or just most of your coins are like the Civil War tokens. The 10 is like, okay, that's common. But on some of these tokens, a 10 means that's the rarest there is, or there's only like 1 or 2 known, and those are the ones that go stupid. So I've learned a little bit about them since I've been doing this. Yeah, I can understand that, and I may want to keep myself if I was you. I mean, I don't think I'd take and do much with them. I'll give you an idea. Now, this here, some I'm doing some research on right now. I'll give you a small hint. I have learned a little bit about them, but I'm like you. I mean, I think I would have kept those. And oh, by the way, condition of those, even though they have a condition factor they go by, if they're rare enough, they don't care what the conditions are. Let's see, this one here. Now this one here is not so good of a condition. I don't know if I'll be able to show you how. Okay, this is Civil War. Now this is a store card token, but it's in pretty rough shape. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I'd look at them. I mean, if you wanted to show them to me. But this is a store card. Let's see which way's up. Okay, there you go. This is a store card, and it just has like some writing on the back, but it's for a store. Those tend to bring a little bit more money. Here's another one. And a lot of them tend to be in pretty rough shape. See that in there? It was in the ground, I think. I think somebody picked it out of, took it out and unburied it. But yeah, you can't see much on this stupid thing. Trust me, it's for writing though. But and I've even found, let's see here. Now these here, you say you got, well, this is not Canadian, I don't think. This is a beat up one too. It's got the eagle on it. And as I say, yeah, I can show you. Okay. Yeah. See, you know what? You're talking about posting pictures on Facebook. You'll have to have the square holes. Yes. Well, that's not the square hole. I thought I had one sitting right here. Let me tell you a little something about the square. Do you know the story behind the square holes, Lincoln? I mean, do you know what the reason of those were? Okay, well, here's the whole idea behind it, and I didn't know this. Believe it or not, your square hole is most probably from a nail, okay, the old square nails. And what they would do is, and this is even prevalent if you ever happen to find a large cent with a square hole, is it used to be good luck for them to nail it, and they'd nail it over their door, somewhat like you hear these stories of them nailing a horseshoe over the door or over the fireplace. Back in the day when our country started, there was still a lot of, for a lack of a better ideal, voodoo kind of, just witch doctors, or I don't even think it's witch doctors. Just a lot of people had a lot of superstition, but they took and they used to put a penny. I know a penny was one of them, the large cents. I've had a few of them I've posted and sold them on eBay, and they'll sell pretty good. They still go by the condition of the coin, but the hole don't seem to hurt them as much. You find a lot of that in the early 1800s, so I think that ended about, well, it didn't really end. 1860s, like I say, you can get, I thought I had a token, but I have a token, a few of them that's got the holes in them, and I can only assume they're the same as far as they have the, they were using them for some type of good luck charm to where it would bring them, I know some families that used to think that they would take money out and put it outside on the New Year's and then bring it back in. Well, like I say, that was one of the stories I've been told. There's actual articles on using them for that. But you're right, I do know also about them using them on the clothes. I guess that's what they were called, Christopher. I just redid in Cincinnati, Ohio, in Camp Dennison. I just literally remodeled a few years back an old house, and I've got they now get this the upgraded tube and knob electrical. I've got some of the tube and knobs from them from the house, but we stripped the house out down to the bare two eyes, and we rebuilt the house. Beautiful home right now. But I've got some of the square, well, the old fashioned, I guess you could call them square nails that was in it. I took and I just was keeping them because it was pretty neat, and it was a camp here in Cincinnati. They used it during the or during the Civil War, and they took and there used to be a train tracks behind this house, which right now it's a bike trail. But the house that we remodeled was I guess, the commandant. I don't know what he would be called in the. I say commandant because I'm thinking of Hogan's Heroes, but the captain or whatever who was in charge of the prison, and it's where they would take in the people from the South. They would bring when they were captured. They would bring them up there, and they used to stay at Camp Dennison at that prison, and mainly because it was a railroad right there. True story. You can look it up in you can look it up online, and you can find out some information about it. It's pretty neat. I took and learned quite a bit. And here's the funny part: there was a couple of people actually. They were metal detectors hunters, and they was out there, and the lady had given them permission to hunt for land with it, and they're out there, they're hitting stuff left and right. We could see them on our lunch break and stuff, and I told her, I said, you got to find out what they're, and I went over and talked to them a couple times to see what we ain't finding nothing, just junk. And I was like, dude, don't bullshit me, I know better than that. I need a glass of water, excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. So what other kind of topics you guys have on in mind? I'm just up for a minute playing around. I took and when my grandfather, he had cancer and he was supposed to die they gave him 6 months. He was a tougher than nails old fart, and he ended up living, I think it was about 8 years after he had gotten the cancer. And then he took and I think he worked 1 or 2 years, but then he took and he just started taking it easy and stuff. And I took and my father had passed away quick when I was in my 20s. So I mean quick as far as he took and went to the hospital, and 3 days later he passed. A lot of it, he was out of it. Well, my grandfather, he had his wits about him, and I took and I sat there and I talked to him. He lived I'm from originally a little town called Windham, Ohio. I was born in Ravenna, but he had taken and he had lived up there pretty much all of his life, and I had talked to him, and I just wanted to find out everything that my grandfather, because he's the one who got me into coins, and I wanted to ask him everything that all the history he knew. And so about once, I mean, I'm raising a family, but probably once a month, I would take him, go up there for the weekend and spend a weekend with him. And I asked him every bit of history I could about my family. And so I know quite a bit about them. And I had taken and had a good time. And, he told me so many stories. I'll tell you one little story he told me that fascinated me. Uh, During World War II, Ravenna, Ohio borders our town that that I lived in. In fact, Wyndham was a barracks town for the people during the Second World War. Well, my great grandfather had moved over here in 21, right after the First World War, and he actually fought in Germany against America. My grandfather fought with America against the Germans in World War II. But between World War I and II, my great grandfather, had owned property on the Ravenna Arsenal, what is known as the Ravenna Arsenal today. And my grandfather said that he remembers he was outside, he was just playing, and he said a couple of men was walking up the road. He said they was in suits and ties and everything, and so that captured his attention. And he said he'd come up to my great grandpa and told him, he said, I don't remember what the amount of money was, but they handed him a check and they said, you got 30 days to move out. We're confiscating your land for the war effort. And my great grandfather took him within 30 days. He had to move out, bought him a piece of property, and then him and my grandfather took and actually built what I call the old farmhouse. It still stands, and it's up in Wyndham, Ohio. And I see it every year when I go to my family reunion. So that's about one of the stories I love that my grandfather told me. Stories I've got to tell you ain't quite so nice, though. So what part of the country are you at, Lincoln? Christopher Scott, you take and leave us? I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, by the way. Mississippi. I used to drive tractor trailer. I've been across the old Mississippi many a times. Many a times when she was flooded, too. Born in Arkansas, yep. My niece just came back from Arkansas. She took and she got involved with a truck driver, and she took and she moved down there for a bit. And I don't know. I guess she said he was a little too controlling, and she come back. So don't know that story. Don't know that I really care to. But Arkansas is pretty cool. I took and my one daughter, she went down to pick her up because she didn't have a way back. I don't know what the whole deal there was, but she said, "Well, that's a lot farther than I thought." I said, "Yeah." I said, "From Ohio, it is." So, what part of Arkansas was you born in, if I can ask? Yeah. What part of PA, Christopher? I've lived in a lot of places in my life. My father never believed in if you listen to my story, you'd think he caught me on a lie on a few things. So I could tell you one story, tell you another story that happened during the same year. You'd think that's lying, but it really happened. My father moved so many times in our life. So what part of PA? Well, my butler don't tell me. Tell me something close like Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, York. I know those. Harris, I know. Been to Hershey, PA. Love that town, man. I mean, tell you, you drive into that town and you smell the chocolate as soon as you drive in town. Truman, Arkansas. You know what? I think I've been there before. No joke. Like I said, I used to drive tractor trailer, so I may have had to drive through that town, or the first time I went out driving, I took in the lead driver. He loved just taking back roads. And it's like, man, we'd end up spending 3 or 4 hours extra on a trip, hell, sometimes even a day. But he showed me some of the most wonderful things. I mean, there was a place out there. I don't remember where it was. It might have been Arkansas, but maybe not. Still, we went to this one little. I mean, it was just a little burger joint right in the middle of nowhere, and they had buffalo burgers there. Uh, you know, I tell so many people this. You know, they're telling, "Oh, I want to go see the world. I want to go see the world." I said, "Have you ever looked in your backyard?" I said, "There's a lot of beauty in America, and that much I know for a fact. I've been to 47 of the 50 states in the United States. I've flown over Alaska. I've seen it from the air from about 30,000 feet. Love to go visit there. In fact, I don't know, did you see that video I did that Rue? He's from up there, right there by those islands that go out in that Bering Straits. You got the islands that I guess Japan took over for a minute, or one of them. He lives right there at the beginning of those islands. So, but he just sent me a bunch of fish. Yeah, you guys don't tell him, but I sent him. I've got a monster box full of Lincoln pennies that was given to me by I've got a coin dealer here in Cincinnati that takes in. Let's see here. Okay. Now, you know what? I know I've been by Shiloh, I think it's called. That's some beautiful property up in there. Heck, I was gonna say, well, I lost track of the story. It's late. I lost track of the story I was at. Sorry about that. You're an hour away from Youngstown. Oh, you dirty dog, and you're real close to me. That might be why I remember it. Shiloh, Tennessee is just a spitting distance from me. Youngstown, Ohio. Talk about oh boy. When I was first growing up, Christopher, Youngstown was a booming town, but for lack of a better word, the gangsters got a hold of it. Now, I was born in the 60s, so I was up there from 60 to about 72. And at that time, the steel business was still hopping pretty good. But that's about the time that, the steel industry started going to hell in a handbag. But that was the same thing that happened to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh went to hell in a handbag for a minute, and they diversified out, just like Cincinnati had to diversify, and all the cities had to diversify there in the early 70s, late 80s, or I'm sorry, early 70s to late 70s. Let's see, what was that? That was during, I want to say, let me think here. Wasn't that during the Carter years? Right after. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Youngstown used to, I remember going to Youngstown when I was a pup, and we went there to go to the movie theaters. Been there to some of the back in the day, if y'all remember, the demolition derbies were real big. I mean, they really haven't dropped. They have dropped a little bit as far as I don't see them as much. But yeah, I've been to a bunch of demolition derbies. After my mom and dad got divorced, my mother I stayed with her, and she got hooked up with a guy who was in the demolition derby. He's pretty good. Loved the guy to death. He's a rough old character as far as strict as hell, but he taught me a lot of respect. But he went on to where we got to go down to the finals down in Columbus, Ohio, at the state fair. I mean, he moved up that far in the rankings, and I didn't even know they ranked him like that for the longest time. But yeah, that was some. Oh boy, you guys are making me feel young, actually. Thanks. And by the way, Lincoln, I was just down in Tennessee here last year. Me and the wife, we went down to Memphis, and we toured Memphis for a little bit. My daughter and her fiance took, and we all went down there for a weekend just because it's a few minutes away from us. So we had a good time there. So, Christopher, you said you're 30 minutes. So you're between, because hell, it ain't but 30 minutes, I don't think, from Youngstown to Pittsburgh. Yeah, Memphis is where we was at. They took, and I don't know. I never got, I guess, to the bad part. We just got around, the places where, let's see, I want to say, I think it was Johnny Cash and all that, where they got that museum and stuff. We never, I don't think we really hit the big city. We just stayed out into the tourist attraction areas, I believe it was. Cincinnati's crazy, Lincoln, you're talking about crazy. When I first moved down here to Cincinnati, it was a nice conservative town. Let's see. I don't know about that. You know what? When I went down there, I wasn't looking at street names. I was too busy window shopping, looking at all the stuff in the windows. And we took them, God, we must have walked 20 miles in 3 blocks. I mean, just walking back and forth, up and down, probably all within a 6, 8, 10 block radius. But I know we did a shitload of walking, hitting a lot of the antique malls. And, I don't guess they were antique malls. They were places where, they sell their little trinkets, little $2 trinkets that ain't worth nothing. Okay. Yeah. Youngstown, like I said, they were a hopping place. Now, Christopher, how young are you, sir? Just out of curiosity. Me and Lincoln, we've done given our ages, 57 and 58. Come on, you can tell us you. Oh, okay. Well, you're right up there with us. Shit, well, I've taken, let's see here, Mississippi ain't that far. Dang. You guys had to come to the Sharonville Convention Coin Show the end of the month. We have about 120 tables. Yeah. Yeah, 52. I was just talking to somebody and they said, man, where'd last week go? I said, last week, my ass. I said, where'd the last 10 years ago? I remember turning 50 and I was like it was yesterday. I don't know. I think we've got a little bit better. Oh, disabled homebound? Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. I know this age is catching up to me. My body ain't the way it used to be. But I've been blessed with being able to get around still pretty good, so I'll try not to complain much. Well, I certainly would. I wish there was a way to take and to make that happen. Oh, so you're up there by Erie, PA, Christopher. Is that correct? I've been up to Erie, PA before. I know this last year they had a hell of a snowstorm. Yeah, you get a gaggle of snow up there still, probably a little bit of lake effect. I remember that when I was growing up getting the lake effect snow. Now, Lincoln, let's see, what part of, about halfway? Okay. I'm trying to think here. What part of Mississippi are you in, Lincoln? I could tell you a story. Ugh, it's half good and half bad. It coming up out of Shreveport, Michigan, when I was a pup in my 20s. Northern part, well, that's up by Shreveport. Well, I don't know. To me, Shreveport is north. At least whenever you're looking at it. Oh, you're right up at the Tennessee line. Oh shit, you ain't but let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you're only about 6 or 7 hours away from me. You on? Let's see here. I'm trying to think. You would be on the west side then of Tennessee. You could be. Yeah, you would. You'd have to be on the west side of Tennessee. So it might be 7 or 8 hours. Depends upon how fast you go, I guess. So, Christopher, are you a coin collector as well, or you? I mean, how'd you get on my page? Come on, man, you guys are going to type faster. South of the Tennessee line. Well, if you're in Mississippi, I think you'd have to be south of the Tennessee line. I'll say there's so much. Heck, when I was younger, I used to have a road atlas, needless to say, from driving truck. This was back before GPS and all that shit. And I'd have a map and I could look it up real quick. Like I say, I've been to 47 of our 50 states, and I've probably traveled 4 or 5 million miles in my life. And anytime I go on vacation, anything up to the Great Smoky Mountains, I took and drove. Oh, okay, new collector, that's good. But anything, like I say, east of the Mississippi, I've driven. I took him. I've always been a firm believer of taking and go out and enjoy the world while you're young and you can enjoy it. And I've done that. Yeah, congratulations, Chris. I agree. Uh, what are you interested in, Chris? As I'm telling the story. Um, but I took and I started going farther west, and I would fly out to about halfway to wherever I was going. One time I flew into somewhere in Idaho, I can't remember. But then I took and we got a rental car and spent 2 weeks out and did the northwest part of the United States. Got to go to Yellowstone and all that other happy stuff. Went up into Montana. Uh, the one state I'm missing, by the way, in the lower 48 is North Dakota. It's the only one I haven't been to so far. I've been to South Dakota. I went over to see the dead presidents on the mountainside. That was pretty neat, actually. Uh, what do they call that out there? Lincoln Cents, wheat cents, or you like the shield, or you like the memorials? Georgia. What about Georgia? I'm not certain. I can't connect the Georgia part. I've been all over Georgia, I can tell you that. And I mean all over. When I was about 20, between 24 and 26, I had a father-in-law who had a 23-foot motor home that he would rent out. And being as I was family, I got it for free. All I had to do was pay for the gas. and I took a month and started up in Maine. Well, I went from Cincinnati to Maine. From Maine, I went. No, you're thinking of something different. I'm talking about the Washington Lincoln. What's it called? Oh hell, Mount Rushmore. Memorials and Wheats. Okay. So how long have you been collecting, Christopher? Yeah, it's exactly what I think I know what you're talking about. Was it Georgia where I don't know, they took and there was uh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but yeah, Mount Rushmore is where I was talking about, up in the Black Hills. I went over to see what do they call that? Devil's Tower, which is just I swear to God, if you look at it from far, it looks like a big ass petrified tree. Some people are actually theorizing now that it is. There's a little town there, literally a little town. It had a okay, well, that's cool. What's your particular interest? Are you trying to put together a set, a book, or what? Tell you and let me know. But I was gonna say, Lincoln, I took in when I was over at Devil's Tower. There's a little town. They had a post office and the post office and the general store was all in one. And I went in and they had a sign there, population 5 or 4 or 5, something like that. And I walked in there and I mean, at the time I had a family and we had 5. Like, well, we just doubled your population, and got to talking to the owner, who was the postmaster, of course. And he had taken and we got to talking about coins and stuff. And here this guy had a big old safe just full of Morgan dollars out there. And I said, well, I wish I had more time. I'd go through them for you and tell you what you had as far as vans and stuff, but we didn't have time. But I'll tell you what, it was a beautiful thing. An old safe. I mean, we're talking 18, well, probably the 1860s, 50s safe. Uh, it would be modern compared to how old the U.S. is, but, to them, that's real old because, the settlers never went out there until the 1830s, so still was a pretty old safe for them. Okay, let's see here. So the complete set, so you've got about 3 or 4 books you need to take in. Heck, I got tons of weeds, and I mean, I got tons of them. Be more than happy to help you with them if I can. Let's see, that would have. Oh, it was cool. I mean, and the building itself, the building was probably, oh man, I'll tell you what, the building might have been built around the same time in the 18, I'd say 30s, 40s, 50s. Couldn't have been. He told me though that actually I think the building was open to be the post office for that area. Yeah, Lincoln, I'll bet you do. If you've been down there for a minute, I'm certain you do. I'll tell you what, I want to start selling mine because I've been hoarding them. Well, let's see, Lincoln, me and you was talking about that. I started hoarding Lincolns, probably buying them by the rolls, probably since well, I get them from the banks first from 74. And I'd always pull out the good ones. And then I started really hitting coin shows and stuff, probably about 1980. And back then you could buy a roll of wheat pennies for $1. And I was just buying the shitload out of them. I probably got, you're not going to believe me, but probably have 20 boxes, and each box holds 100 rolls of Lincoln pennies, and I probably have 20 boxes of in the tubes. I mean, they're all in tubes like this right here. And I'd say that out of those 20 boxes, probably 10 of them are full and the others are partials. Well, it all depends. The one problem I've had, Lincoln, and you make your call on this, but the one problem I had when I first started. Oh yeah, I bet I can figure out a few of them. But Lincoln, what I was gonna say is the problem I had when I first started selling mine was I valued them higher than what they were worth. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I mean, that was me. You may not, and I don't even know what your set looks like. I don't remember if you showed it to me or not. Because somebody just showed me a nice set that they had. No, it's somebody else. It's not you. They showed me a set they had, and they asked me if I had some coins to give them. This person's working on a BU set of Lincoln cents. Let's see, Christopher. You need probably, I'm going to guess at the 19 that you need. I'm going to guess some of them, see how many I get right. 09S, 09S VDB, 10S, 11 maybe S, 15S, 13S, 24D, 26S, maybe the 11. I don't know if I said D or S, but probably both of those mint marks on the 11. What grade are you going with, Christopher? Or are you just filling holes? Got all those right? Yeah, see, I'm certain I'm missing a few of them because after that it starts getting sparse. Do you have an 09 VDB? Let's see, 09S VDB, 09S 14D, 31S. Yeah, never thought about that one. 31S, you got me there, Lincoln. I take it I never. Oh, you don't? Oh, I've got. What grades are you getting them in, Christopher? I mean, are you just, like I say, are you filling holes? Are you trying to get a certain grade? Or, I mean, I can work with you on any of that because I've got them in various grades from uncirculated down to goods. I've got almost a whole roll of the VDBs, just the 09, not the S's. I do have, I think, one or two 09S's though. I'm trying to think. Oh, hold on a second, guys, because I got them handy right here. Let's see, 22Ds. And you know what, Lincoln, I bet we never figured this. Okay, middle grade. We never thought about this. Probably needs the 32, 32D, 33, 33D. I got those too, but let's see here. Do I have an 09 VDB in here? I got 10S here. It ain't too bad of a grade. It looks like it's about a very good to a fine. Guys, again, I'm getting a scope. I ordered it from Amazon yesterday or day before. They said that they would take, and it would be here, I think, the 1st or the 2nd. So probably not going to get here till Monday. 25S. I got some nice 25S's. Believe it or not, I find all of these in bags. Oops. Yeah, see here, you ain't gonna see the grades of these stupid things without me getting my scope. 23S, got 11D here. Yeah, that's a smoothie. I got 11D that would it's only about a $5 coin, but it's pretty smooth on that one. I mean, I've got a bunch of others. Oh yeah, here's some 32s and 33s. 33D, that's a harder one to get. 12D. You know, I got a nice 22. What die variety of your weak D do you have, Lincoln? Do you know if it's the 1, the 3? Somewhere in here I got 31S. I think it's in here. Maybe, maybe not. Aha, I found some others back here. 32D. Oh, here's no 9BDB. This is a nice one. I got a few of them right here. 1, 2, 3. I got 3 of them right here. Oh, okay, gotcha. Let's see, that's an AU. That's a VF. Yeah, I got 3. Chris, I got 3, and again, you ain't gonna see them too well. That one there is a pretty nice one. I'd say this is an AU. Let me see here. Strong XF. Maybe might make a 55, 58, something like that. But then I got this is probably a good VF here. I mean, it's got separations on the cheeks. Should be able to see all the wheat lines, I think. Yeah, all the wheat lines are there. This is one with a weak VDB. They got a weak and a strong VDB, Christopher. You always want to really get the strong VDB. That way there's no arguments on it. This is one of the stronger VDBs. It's a nice find. And the one I've got that's AU, oh, it's got real strong VDB on it. I wish it had an S on it. If it did, it'd be a $3,000 coin. But, yeah, I mean, I can get you some. I don't think anybody can beat my price. I can take and give you what we call wholesale, gray sheet wholesale. Now this in here, don't go flipping over the price, but believe it or not, because this in here, you may not see it. I got a nice 26 that actually has some mint luster or mint color to it. You can't see it in this picture because it is mainly brown. But this in here, it's, believe it or not, that one's a $50 coin, and that's that one might be the normal price, so I'd have to see. But no, I'll take it. I can do gray sheet bids on it, which that's what I sell it to dealers for, and I don't mind selling it that way across the board. Let's see, here's a 32D. That ain't gonna be too expensive of a coin, but it's a nice little XF. Yeah, I mean, these here are, I mean, these are all olders. I think my newest one would be about a 33. Yeah. Let's see, I got like 18D in here. And I only keep those if they're nicer. 19D, 27, 24, 28S, 27S, 26S, 16S, 25D, 12S, 31D. I know I got a 31S around here. I just don't know exactly where it's at. I thought I had it in this pack, or in this stack. What it is this here is just a stack where I'm taking and getting ready for the great big show that we have, and I had to take and put together a bunch of Lincoln pennies so that we can take them and have stock. We go through, believe it or not, about probably 100 of these a month, slabbing them up. Different coins, but those being the pennies. But that's a bunch, trust me. You got no 9S. What grade is it, Lincoln? Because that don't sound like a bad price, to be honest with you. I mean, I could even tell you what the gray sheet price is on it if you'd like. be more than happy to if you got an idea of the grade. I don't know if it's slabbed or not. If it's slabbed, that would of course get you a stronger price. But I'm always looking for coins, to be honest with you. I mean, we've got to have them all the time. While you're getting together that price, I'm gonna get the gray sheet. I think I will. Okay, guys, I lied to you. I don't have the gray sheet right here with me. I don't know where it got set at. Hey, Christopher. Let's see here. These are Jefferson, Nicolay. Here's a Lincoln. That's a second set. Here's a first set. Let's see if we got anything in the first set. And this just a old album I got. Let's see here. Let's see, VF. You got all the keys in there on that set. There's the first page on this here set. Chris, you see anything you need in there? Let's see. 09. That's the 09 VDB. 09 plane. 10. 11. 12. Most are AU to VF. I'd have to figure that up, and I'd have to get my gray sheet out to see what that set goes for in that condition, because there is set prices on it. I mean, as far as, you know, a sight unseen, but I'd be able to tell whether or not I would go for something like that. But that's within our price range, I can tell you that. It's those people that's got those $50,000, $60,000 sets I can't afford. I don't have that kind of funds. Let's see here. Let's say, Christopher, I got some complete second book sets. This is just right behind my desk. VF. Oh, VF30, okay. Yeah, it sounds close. I think they went down, but I'm not certain. Let's see. Oh, that's the second book. This one here is an all ripped up book. That's that one right there. Let's see here. That's about. Let's see here. I'm trying to think. I wish I'm looking for that 31S that I've got, and I was going to show you what I've got and the price I've got on it. But I don't. I thought I had it set in here. And I'm looking, I'm finding nothing. 24. This is a nice uncirculated 17. It's all brown, but it's uncirculated, I promise you that. And my 31S has probably made it to into the stockpile. There's a, this is, I'll tell you what, that's a pretty 27. It's a shame that these lights just don't, I can't get it over there to show you it. I missed I had a, I don't need any second. Not certain I understand what you mean by that, Chris. I don't need any second sense. I'm not certain how to take that. I mean, if you want, it'll cost you more, but I can put you into, well, that ain't the one, but let's see here. I'll show you what I can get you into. Yeah, I don't understand it either. I can get you into nice red ones if you'd like. That's a 42. And I've got a bunches of them. I mean, from probably for red, I go back quite a bit. I don't go back to all of them, though. So, Chris, tell us, what do you mean by you don't need any second sense? You're not wanting to double them? Or did you mean something else? I don't think you was here, Chris, when I took them whenever I had that box out. I got a box full of nice uncirculated pennies that go back pretty far. Let's see here. That's a newer set. I can fill this one up. There's the second book. Goes up to 74S. I wonder if he meant the second set of cents. Is that what you meant, Chris? The second set? And here's the third box. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah, you meant the second book. Okay, how about the third book? Or do you have that complete as well? Yeah, exactly, Lincoln. That's what I think that's what he's referring to now. So we know you only need, let's see here. I just need for the first, yeah, he only needs the early ones. Okay, that's cool. So then let's see here. Well, I can use this here then. So we're talking from 1909 to 1940. Ooh, now here, look at here, this one here. Let's see, how many's missing out of this one? Oh. Okay, you're probably needing, as Lincoln was saying, 31S. I'm thinking you need all the 32s and 33s. The book I've got, Lincoln, goes to 40S. So, I mean, it depends on which book he has. This is the number 9004. Can you see that? Yeah, see? And I do know there's older books that go just to, no, Lincoln, you could be right. There's older books that only go to 39 because down this last page here, they don't go as far. I've seen them that way. So it depends on how old your book is. But this one here, it's pretty full. It ain't complete, but it might have something that you need in there. And the only one I can see that would have, let's see here. There's no 24D, there's 25S, but it's ugly. The 11D, it's been cleaned. 12D, just a good. Heck, the best one in here is a 1918. Yours goes up to 20 or 40 also? Okay. Yeah, I say. This is just what I got sitting here that I haven't even went through yet to look at. I got to go through them. I'm like, yeah, I'm like Peavy. I just got coins all over the place. Oh, I bet he needs the 14D. if I was a betting man. So, Christopher, you needing a 14D? By the way, Lincoln, what grade's your 14D? Do you know? I need a 14D. You don't need one, or you don't have one? Oh, I can tell you as many of them as you want to know. You got your 09S. You have two 14Ds? Oh, you do. Okay. Oh, you're having, okay. Okay, Scott, or Christopher, you said you got one. Okay. God, everybody got, I've got one for my private set, but I don't have one right now for selling. And I need them to sell. So that's another thing, Lincoln. I'm taking, if I can't buy them to where I can sell them and make money, I'm not interested in them. Yeah, 11S's. 11D and S's. 15S is getting tough. So is the 13S. I mean, any of them before 15, the S's are tough, and they're semi-keys, actually. And I'm always looking for those, even though I have I've got a bunch of all of them, except I don't have a bunch of the 09. I've got one 09S right now, no 14Ds. I got a couple of 24Ds, 26S's, 31S's. I got a couple of, and as far as the S's, I've got them all. I've got at least 2 or 3 of them. The only ones I'm missing is the 09S and the SVDB. As far as having a couple, I've got one of the 09S. It's just not a SVDB right now. Believe it or not, Lincoln, what was it? About 3 years ago, I took in, I went to I used to go to a lot more coin dealers than I used to, or than I do now, but I went to 2 different coin dealers, all within the same month, and I bought 2 1909 SVDBs that both of them said was counterfeit. I just got through doing a study on the 09 SVDB, and I ended up and I bought both of them for $5, and they were both real. I got them slabbed, and I sold them and made a bunch of money. If we're talking 09, yes, I agree with you. Because they put the VDB back on, excuse me, back on they put the VDB back. What year was that, Lincoln, that they put the VDB back on under the shoulder? I know 22 was. They do. Yeah, 22 has them. Let me see here. I got I don't think they did it that soon. Okay, you're saying 18? Okay. That 11D don't have it, so that's holding true. Not that I dispute you, I'm just double checking it. 12 don't have it. I know I got a 17 in here somewhere. Well, here's a 16S. Nope, no VDB. Like I said, I know I got a nice 17 here somewhere, I thought. Well, here's an excuse me, here's an 18. And I see a VDB on the 18. Let's see here. I'm trying to find that 17 still. I could have swore I just seen that 17, a nicer 17 sitting around here. Oh, here we go. Here's a 16. It's an unk. No VDB on that. I'm going to take your word for it, Lincoln. Yeah, because I ain't got my, I don't know what I do. I thought I had my 17 around here. On it. But I can tell you right now, I just looked at a 16 and it was unk, and that's easy enough to see on the shoulder, and there's no VDB on it. But I thought I had a 17, and I just, I never even, I should know that stuff. But believe it or not, there's just some things I don't put to memory. I know the 16S didn't have it. And I don't. Let's see here. Yeah, that's 15D. Don't sound like it's good enough condition for you, Chris. So, Chris, let me ask you a question. Did you take it in book 2? Have you thought about upgrading it, or do you have it upgraded? Do you have it in BU? Do you have it in BF, XF? Are you keeping it across the board? As far as from book 1 all the way out? Or are you going to change into uncirculated at any time? Guys, I'm getting tired. Well, I think Christopher left or Lincoln left, one of the two. Who's still here? Hello? Everybody leave? Oh, okay, you're the ones. Okay. I guess Chris might have had to go to bed. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been good talking with you, Lincoln, but I think I'm going to take and I noticed you deleted your name up there, which is fine with me. That's why I'm not saying anything about the name or anything. So, can I ask you what happened? How did you, I don't know, it's none of my business. I mean, I'm just making chit chat. But what happened, if I can ask, to keep you homebound? Like I said, I know it's personal. If you don't want to, you ain't got to say nothing about it. Oh, I can understand that. Oh, sorry to hear about that. Spinal, was it work related? Ooh, sorry to hear about that. Sorry to hear about that. Christopher, book 2 is across the board. Not certain. How the hell? Oh, shit. What kind of work did you do? I got out of construction. I used to do construction. Now I just do coins. Huh, you did. Okay. Wow. Sorry to hear that. Okay, Chris, you have a nice evening. Yeah, I did construction up until I turned 50, Lincoln, and I took and I said, this is getting too hard. That's a young man's game. Yeah. Yeah, Chris, good luck. Look me up on Facebook if you're still up there, or you'll see me around on YouTube. planning to take, once I get my scope in, I'm planning to do a whole lot more as far as getting online and hopefully talking some coins and stuff like that. Hey, Lincoln, I'll tell you what, maybe you'd be interested in doing some of this with me. I'm thinking about taking and doing, like on this channel, maybe making a new channel. And I got a bunch of friends. I don't know what it is, people, birds of a feather flock together. And being as I have my own business, I got a lot of friends who are starting their own business or have gotten their own business. They're about our age. Well, I enjoy talking with you too. I somehow there's got to be a way you need to take and get a Skype or something. That way we can talk face to face. I know that's capable. I just don't have Skype right now anymore. Um, I was going to say the thing I was thinking about doing. I was thinking about this today. Is I wanted to take and well, that's good. Ken seems like a nice guy. I'm a little concerned. See, I've been around the Facebook for a while. I'm not going to mention no names. I don't take, and I tend not to. I say that I don't talk to people unless I don't talk about people unless I can talk to them in front of their face. But there's a young person that's got a group that always a bunch of drama and shit in his group, and it seems like everybody who's got more knowledge than him, he boots out and then takes and basically says a lot of bad things about him. And I know Ken's in that group, and I haven't said nothing to him. I've been debating on whether I even want to, because he may get along with the person, and I just personally don't. But I learned a long time ago to keep my mouth shut, not to take, and not to belittle him with his knowledge and experience, because he's only got 4 or 5 years of experience in the coin hobby, and he thinks he knows everything. And it's like, okay, whatever. But I'm a firm believer of, be whatever you want to be. Now, see, my thing is showing that I have no people in the room, so I can't tell if you're in the room or. Oh, I wonder why that is now. What, they all went to bed? That would explain it. Yeah, apparently you are a ghost. You on what do they call it, the Onion, or no, dark web? Yeah, you on the dark web? I ain't gonna tell nobody, but I took and I played on it a couple times, and it scared the shit out of me. That dark web, I'll tell you what. There's some creepy people there. Oh, iPhone. Well, I don't know. Maybe iPhone. I don't know what the hell iPhone. I guess it may mask it. I guess it could. Always changing frequency and shit. I don't know. I know the FBI is having a problem. They're wanting to crack those phones to check information out. They say for the good for us, but I don't know. I believe that shit. In construction, what did you do? Was you a banger, or did you bang nails, put on roofs? I mean, did you specialize, or did you do it all? I took and I did houses from basically from the basement all the way up if I wanted to. But as I got older, I subcontracted a lot of that shit out. The only thing I never got to learn how to do, okay, you did it all too? Well, and you're like me. I took and I did all. The only thing I never did was lay that damn brick. Even though I was a hod carrier young in my days, that was enough for me. Well, that's cool. I wanted to build my own house, but you know what? I got so damn busy building everybody else's house, I never got a chance to build mine. Bought bought 2 homes, and I had both of them taken away from me. I said, you know what? Screw this shit. I don't know that I want another house. Don't care for the yard work, so it's like now I'm just thinking I'm gonna. Even though my new wife, she wants to get a house, she wants to build. I've got some property. Yeah, that's what happened to me. But hey, and this is the truth. God love her. She didn't know anything about coins, and she gave me my coins, and I want to just leave it at that. I was okay with it. I took them when I started selling coins. Here's a little story for you. When I started selling coins, I thought, well, I've been collecting varieties for many, many years. And I thought, well, I'll just sell my, well, okay, that's cool. But I took and I thought I'll sell my coins and, or my extras. And actually, I thought about building a house down now. We're going back where I was about 50. And I started selling them. And I've said this many years. Every time I've emptied or tried to empty my safe out to sell my coins, I mean, I sold them. Let's see. Yeah, I know that feeling. Well, see, my ex took and I happened to have a job like for the 2 years before we had taken and divorced. And I mean, I ain't gonna bullshit nobody. I was getting a lot of cash money. And it was just because the guy, the way he had it set up, he took care of all the taxes and everything. And I had a stack of hundreds. And she took and she had no idea about it. Well, she took and I had gotten her out of trouble with her credit cards. And when I did, I took some silver that I was a silver hoarder for a while. And what I mean by that is I go to the bank, I would ask them how many half dollars they had. I don't care. It could be anywhere to actually $5,000, and I'd buy every one of them. And I'd take the damn things home. Back then, silver was only $4 or $5 an ounce when I started doing it. So hell, it even got down to 3, I think, or 2. And I took in silver was everywhere. You could go through the rolls and you could find a lot of silver, not like they do today. You know, they're lucky. Hell, one time I went to a bank, they only had $80 worth of halves. I bought them. All $80 was 90% silver. Went back to 1892, believe it or not. Um, but I had all this stuff I'd accumulated, and by the way, it wasn't in the greatest of shape. But I ended up with, I think, 2 or 3 Franklin sets complete. So, but I'd taken in silver got to where it had did that last boom, and I think they were paying when I first went in with about half of them, which was somewhere around 100. I guess it was $100 face. They took and it's paying 20.4 per face, so I took and I sold $100 worth, got a little bit of money there, and I took in. The second time I went in, they took in, because I'd go to the coin stores all the time, and they told me it was paying 24 or 22.4 or 22.8, something like that, per face. And I think I took them $300 face, and I cashed in. I even went through the stuff I had in 2x2s that were just, I mean, I couldn't get that much even in brand new condition. So I had them melted down. Kept the complete set for myself, but from what each series I may have had. But I got rid of everything, you know, worn, anything that was worn, and even modern from from 1955 to 64. If they were uncirculated, I didn't give a shit. As long as I kept a few for myself, I just sold them off. And so I had a big old stack of hundreds from that too. Well, she took and I paid the credit card off, and she didn't realize I had all that other money in my safe where I kept the coins. And so when we got the divorce, she told me pretty much what your wife said. Just, you know, I don't want those coins. I said, cool. And I let her have the house because hell, the house had, I think, $60,000 owed on it. And I took and I moved out, took my coins and my safes, and I took and I left and was smiling, to be honest with you. But hell, now that I've gotten in the coin dealer, I take in my safe. See, you was talking about being robbed. somebody could rob me and they're not going to get much because I've got a safe and it's offside. Nobody knows where my safe is. I don't tell nobody about it. But the person's place that it's at, I mean, the only one that knows where my safe is my wife. So my kids don't even know where it's at. She's got the combination of anything if anything ever happened to me. But well, I got one daughter that knows. But that's where I keep my valuable shit. The stuff here, I mean, don't get me wrong, they get $1,000, $2,000 worth of shit if they come here and rob me. It's like, you can have it, I don't give a shit. My insurance will cover most of it, and hell, I'll let them pack it out. You go right on ahead, butthead. I mean, those boxes of pennies of mine, they might be, what, there's 100 rolls in them? Yeah, you might get $200-$300 on an average. I mean, the pennies ain't worth as much as people think. I have one box that might be a couple thousand, or maybe 1,000. Ooh, shit, that's not good. Now, see, I don't get into bills, so like I said, they'd have to have some big balls to come and get my shit because it's gonna be heavy, heavy, heavy. I mean, I'd I'll put it to you this way: I didn't have nobody. Ooh, okay, yeah. You know, that's one thing I hate is somebody who's a fucking thief. Um, you know, I raised 4 children. I mean, I was, being a dad, and each one of my children stole from me once, well, at least once, as far as a collectible coin. They weren't, thank God, they weren't expensive coins, but I had taken and when I was 14, I took and I had stolen a couple half dollars. They were like 1966 half dollars out of my dad's collection. Took them up to the store and was going to buy candy or pop or something. And just so happens that the owner of the store happened to be the chief of police also. He happened to know also my dad, and he knew my dad was a coin collector. So he kept the coins and he'd give them back to my dad, and I had to confront my dad. And my dad was normally a pretty mean and aggressive guy, but he took in that time he wasn't. He just sat down and talked to me, and he told me basically what I told all my kids. And I just told him, I said, don't be stealing that from me. I know you did, but here you can. And then I started keeping a change bucket to where I just throw my change in all the time. I said, you can take any of that, and take all that all you want. I said, but oh yeah, hell yeah. Well, that's another thing. I don't tell people where my guns are either, but I yeah, anybody who knows me, they know probably not be a good idea if you come here. I'll be honest, if you come here, you might as well shoot me first, because if not, you're probably gonna end up taking it. If you get lucky enough to get past some of my other security, you're gonna take, and you're probably gonna end up dead. But to make the long story short, I had taken in all my kids. Like I said, they stole a couple times, or well, before I had a talk with them and caught them, they stole just some cheap stuff from me, and then I taught them a little bit about the. Oh, okay. But I had told them about basically not to steal, and they could get into that jar. And after that, I never had no problem. My kids have always been good to me as far as that goes. Uh, Hell, my wife knew not to touch them, so I haven't really had no major thefts of that. I mean, one day I might, but wouldn't be the worst thing. Like I said, I've had people fucking steal my house, literally. So what the fuck? And that's a story I could have to tell you, and it's a long one. Mine don't stay on my hip, but it stays close enough to where I can get access to it pretty quick. And if I could tell my wife now, she about shit. Let's see. Ooh, shit. That's a shame. A fucking bullshit too. And I'm guessing, well, I ain't gonna guess shit about that. A housekeeper, that's a dirty trick. I'll be honest with you, I believe in karma. I don't know what would happen to her, but I have a feeling good things ain't coming across to her. I mean, how you'd know who it was? You'd have to have a good idea, I would think. Yeah, see, I've got cameras too. I mean, they may get away with it for a little bit. But that's another thing, I know all the dealers in Cincinnati, if they take it, the dumbasses steal it and take it to a coin dealer, they're just going to call me. Best part is I'm the only specialist in Cincinnati, specializes in varieties. And most of the dealers in Cincinnati know my handwriting because they buy from me. And they know what my handwriting is. And but that's the first thing I do is call the coin dealers and let them know if anything ever come up missing. But hell, if it ain't in the slab, to be honest, and if it ain't in the slab and ain't in my safe, most likely ain't worth much. Or at least nothing that I can't live without. I took it, I'll tell you a little story. When I took it whenever, within the last 6 or 7 years, I took and I went over to the Philippines a few times and was courting my now wife. This was after my divorce. When I started, I was going through the divorce, but I took and I had set up it wasn't, I don't know if it was this computer. See, I've got two computers, and I want to say it was my other computer. No, I know what it was. I took and I somehow I had, must have been my other computer when I had the just a webcam on it. It was so old I didn't have the camera inside the computer, and I had the webcam on it, but I had set it up to where my computer was asleep and it was on though. And so when I was over in the Philippines, I could turn on my Skype on my camera on my computer, and I could literally look in the room and see if anybody was in it or had been in it or anything. And that's how I took and had my security at one time when I needed a bit of water. Well, it sounds like you're in the ballpark. I can't say if it's too much or too little. You know how that is. I mean, I'd have to see them. Yeah, I'm not going to say yours is not worth that. I'm not going to say it is. I just don't know, to be honest with you. And that's one thing I learned from one of my mentors in the coin dealing business is I can't price something without seeing it. It's like trying to, I got a SUV outside that I want to sell for $5,000. You interested in it? It's kind of like that. Yeah, but hey, if you take and get you some pictures of it and give them to me across the on Facebook or something, I'll be happy to look at it. I can get a good idea of it. I mean, I don't know if I can, I just don't know. I'm not gonna say nothing. Now here's my new love. I don't know if you have any of those. If you got any Filipino currency from from the 1900s and up, I'm interested in those. I've been taking and putting together a complete set of those stupid things from the beginning up to the right up to up until the end of the World War II. Well, actually about 47 to 48, even though I do have some of the more expensive proof sets. I got the 06S. It's sitting in my safe. I took and bought it when those stupid things were way underpriced. The 06S is the key to their dollar size coins, the peso. And I took and I got one, happened to get a deal on it. I think it's a XF40 or 45, I don't know. Either way, today it's about a $5,000 coin. When I bought the stupid thing, it was $1,000, so that gives you an idea of how long it's been. Coin sitting in front of me, I gotta look. I'm almost all the time looking at coins. Well, that can be a hard one. I can tell you right now, one thing from what I've seen, okay, this is just my experience. I've taken and I've went into many coin shops, and a lot of times they sell them, and yeah, and some of them probably look like silver, and they might not be. Because I'll tell you what, I got fooled by that many a time. And don't get me wrong, I know they are silver ones. Those two German coins I showed you that have cuds, those are silver. But the problem with a lot of the foreign coins is not many of them are worth money, even though there are some, just like American, some of them are. But I can tell you this much: if it ain't, well, yeah, your chances are getting slim unless you get before, believe it or not, 1700s. A lot of people don't realize that foreign, they've been around forever and a day. And I mean, hell, United States started 1776. Well, we were a fledgling, just a brand new nation. That's why our stuff is worth money. They've been around 600, 1,000 years. So, and they've got coins to prove it. In fact, I've gotten some coins from the 1500s. In fact, I've got from my from my family ancestry history, or family tree on my grandfather's side. I've got I got a coin from Nedevich, which is in Germany. Well, depends on what era. It might be Germany, it might be Czechoslovakia, but I think it's from 1730 or maybe 1717. It's an old one. Not worth a whole lot. I mean, it's a $60. It was just like a dime size. It was about a $60 coin, so it's a pretty neat one. But here again, that's something I'd have to see, because there's so much to those. I do know they have some of the modern is valuable, but doing the homework on it's tough. That's why I don't even mess with it. Okay, yeah, the hammered. Yep, those dates work. I understand what you're talking about. And you know what? You'd think those things would be worth a fortune, but now I don't know about your dates. Don't get me wrong; they could be something. They might be worth something. I don't know. I tell a lot of people when it comes to foreign, it's like I just pass it on to my wife now, because she does all the foreign for me, and she knows it better than I do. I ain't gonna lie to nobody. And she's only been doing coins for a couple of years, for maybe 3 or 4. But she had taken in, I gave her a bunch of what I called junk foreign, because that's what I considered it. Okay, that you could be right about the 52 being worth a little bit. I mean, it makes sense to me. I mean, that's still pretty old. I would think that, I would think the 1707 would be worth more, but we just sold a bunch of 8 reales, and I mean, those are the big things that were the size of the Morgan dollars. And I think the most expensive one we got was $120, I want to say. And I couldn't believe it. I would have thought that'd have been worth more because I think the earliest or the oldest was the most modern was like 1808 or '03, something like that. I think that went for more than the 17 whatever it was. Well, again, the reason I don't even remember it is because I let my wife do it now because she knows more about that shit than I do. So it's just one of those things. I know one thing I've learned about this hobby: stick to what you're good at. I mean, I can know on a lot of it, and I do know a lot of it, but when it comes to like foreign, no. When it comes to tokens, that's why I've got what 10 or 15 tokens sitting here. I haven't done the until I do the research. I won't sell them because I just have no. Well, I mean, I would sell them, but I just don't know enough about them. Now, here's your fun one. That there token, hard to see it, but that's a half liter. It's a German token for a half liter of beer. Now, that's what you would use, a nice square token. You can see it. You can see there. See it that way. That's what you'd use to get a half liter of beer over in Germany. And that's all I know about it. I don't know what it's worth. Now, here's one. I have no clue what this is worth. I got a couple of them. I mean, it says it's worth good for 80 cents in trade. Now, this is a token. The other side is blank. This dime size got a hole in it. And I thought it was something real special. And then my wife showed me another one. Same thing, got the 80 cents good in trade. But on the back side of it, it's got a number, 5754. So I don't know. A 3 Chrysler 1707, and the other is a 5 Cruiser, I think. Okay, Chrysler and Cruiser, okay. 72, okay. Well, the five's got to be pretty good size, isn't it? Or am I mistaking that for something else? And the 3, excuse me, the 3 cries for 1707. Oh, I don't know. I'd take and get the book and try and look it up, but I don't even know when the hell my wife keeps the book at for him. She has the books. I'm taking it the 3 Chrysers, or is it the 5 that's the size of the quarter? The 3 or 5? I'm guessing the 3. Because I'm thinking the 3 Chrysler would still be. Oh, okay, you looked them up. Now, how long did? Let me tell you another little secret. Now, this is just trying to benefit you. Those books are way off on prices. I mean, they fluctuate so much. And don't get me wrong, it could be a good thing for you. Because I found out I had it was an early Chinese nickel. And I had taken and I had it listed for $100 in my books. And I was trying to sell it. Nobody bought it. My wife happened to see it. My wife now. And she took and got online and started looking them up, and she found them at auction. And these damn things were selling for $3,000. Better condition, but still. Okay, cruisers, I got you. I thought they were, but I thought maybe they'd changed whatever they call them, whether the King or the Krauser, Kaiser, whatever. But she looked it up and like say found 3,000, but they were a little bit better. I ended up pricing it at I think $1,100 or $1,200, and I took in. We went to the next coin show. The next coin show guy seen it. He asked to look at it. He says, "I want to do a little research." I said, "Okay." He did some research. He came back and he offered me I think it was $980 for it. Now this is a stupid it's smaller than a dime, or maybe it was about, I think it was smaller than a dime or about the size. And it was silver, but it was Chinese. And I think it was an 1805, I want to say, but I could be wrong. But like I say, the guy, he told me he'd give me $980 or $90 for it. And I said, okay, we got a deal. And he bought the stupid thing. So, and I had bought this damn thing out of one of those junk boxes maybe 10, 15 years earlier for probably 25 cents. So, but she found a bunch of them like that. I took whenever I went to the junk boxes, I only pulled out the ones that I thought was nice looking. And if they were old and exceptionally good condition, I'd go ahead and just pull them and give them their, 5 for $1. I mean, shit, I remember when they were 10 for $1. Yeah, absolutely. You can take, and I'm all about this hobby, so feel free to send me pictures. I'll be more than happy to look at them. And hell, whenever we're not doing nothing, I mean, if I'm right now, I'm booked a little bit on time, but don't get me wrong, you send me the pictures and I'll make the time to look at them. As far as looking them up, you might have to give me a little bit of time, but I'll be more than happy to look them up for you and let you know everything I know. As far as I'm concerned, I want everybody to succeed in this hobby. I really do, because I know, well, I'll put it to you this way. If, like, let's say you have your penny set and you want to sell it, and if I think it's worth the money, but I don't have it, I know dealers that will take and buy them that are very honest. I took and got ripped off by a dealer when I was younger, and I don't play that game. It's like, you know what? I'll give you a fair price, and I know somebody right now sort of disappointed me. Somebody I know that's pretty close to me, or I'm pretty close to them. Oh, I'm not worried about you sending, just send pictures. That's fine. I mean, I don't care what they are. I thought maybe you needed some help on the pricers or some of your form, but if it's tokens, that's okay too. You can send those. Send me pictures of any of them. I don't give a shit what it is. Send me pictures of your penny set. Like I said, we're always in need of pennies, so send me a picture if it's legit. I mean, I don't mind. I'll be happy to take and deal with anything like that. I mean, I buy, sell, trade. That's fine with me. I took and I had a dealer. He took and he sent me, God, a whole collection of varieties, and he told me he didn't know much about them, and he was sending me $500 worth, and I took, well, that's what I'd offered him for it from what he had told me on list. And they'd sent me a few pictures, but they weren't good. And I said, well, I'll give you half of it. Send it to me once I go through it. If it's everything you say, I'll give you the rest of the money. And as soon as he sent it to me, I got them. And well, thank you about that. I appreciate that. Uh, yeah, you know what? Well, let me finish this story. I was going to say, I took in, he sent them to me, and they weren't, all of them wasn't what he said. Some of them was. And I took and I called him up and I said, we got to talk about this price. I said, because I know I agreed with you. He said, well, what would be fair? And I told him the price that I would be willing to offer him. And he took and he said, you know what? He said, you're the third person that called me. He said, I didn't know nothing about errors or varieties. He said, and everybody's called me and said they weren't that. He said, but you give me more money than any of the others did. He said, and I said, well, maybe they didn't get as good a one I got. So, I mean, but I'm very fair about that stuff. Like I said, because I got ripped off and I can't handle. But what I wanted to tell you, what I started talking to you about was I was thinking about taking them, putting a channel like this one here, but maybe starting another one. And like I said, just friends of mine who've got shit to sell. Just find stuff that people sell, that mom and pop shop stuff. That's the only thing I want to deal with on that. And just something to play with. I think that'd be a good idea. I've got a friend. I wish I had it here. My wife had it here, but she took in she makes this homemade soap and lotions. They're all homemade. She does it in her basement, and she gave us. In fact, I'll show you something real quick. I got lucky. She took in I mean, just to show you. See, handwritten label tells what's on it. But this is the hand lotion, okay? And this stuff here, I mean, just a little dab. And I mean, just a little dab. You take and you can rub that on. And man, my hands, my hands used to be really, 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 you know what it's like being in construction. And I still do a lot of on hand work. But I can put this stuff on here. Holy shit, it will take and it'll be on there till tomorrow morning. And I mean, it moisturizes. If you know anybody with dry skin, in fact, I told her I told her to get me a case of this together because I'm going to take it to my family reunion. And I'm a firm believer. If I like it, I'll promote your stuff. You know, and like anybody, you know, if you treat me right, I'll treat you right. And I told her my sister's got a restaurant in West Virginia, and it's a little mom and pop restaurant, but it's right next to the interstate. She got real lucky. I took in about a year and a half ago. I went up and me and my wife. Well, I am the one who did it, but I basically remodeled it for her, and it was just had to have cosmetics. You know, it wasn't no damn very little construction, but I went through and I helped her with that. And like I told my friend, I said, you get me that together. I said, and if you can get me some wholesale prices, I said, my sister will sell for you. I said, she'll probably buy it by the case from you. I said, well, you got to, I said, I don't know how that works. I said, you have to talk to her. And so, I mean, but let's see here. Yeah, that's the name of her company. Washed Clean Soaps by Jonah. But let me put this up and I'll show you. She also makes, oops there, that's soap. She makes customized soaps too. So let's see. Well, I appreciate that. You know, I'm gonna take and I got from Ken Peavy the slots that the others have. Now I know Dustin had a slot, and I'm gonna talk to him and see what that slot was. I'm not certain, but I think somebody might have taken over on that slot. And if they did, I I hate to be rude or anything, but I know Dustin was there first, and he just has gotten busy. And I know we've got to get the channel up and running. That's why I'm getting all this stuff so I can be the host for a while and try and keep everybody, you know, keep talking about the coins and stuff. But I want to take and I want to get back in the groove and find out from him what slots we were in so that I can take and start getting the schedule and start. I want to do the live. I want to do a lot of lives. But I also got to figure out how to do this stupid OS, whatever the hell it is, OBS or what's it called again? Yeah, OBS Studios, to where I can take and get the. I've got to get. It's just a bunch of stuff, but yeah, I definitely want to get back and get running just like we was before. It's just I've got to learn this shit, so I've been cramming to do that. Plus, I got a great big show that I take and I'm the right hand man to the I guess you could call him the producer that runs the show, and we got there's about 120 tables, and so we got a lot to do, and getting ready for it. A lot of people don't realize getting ready for a show takes a little bit. Just running a coin business takes quite a bit. I tell a lot of people we probably go through, and this is no joke, we probably go through 5,000 staples a month. And I don't know if you notice it or not, I only use 3 staples. So that's an average month of us. That's how much we have to staple up and we sell and stuff. So, but I mean, that's the good part. We do sell it. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate your offer to help, and I'll be, that's something that I'll work with you on also. But the other channel is the one that I'm thinking about playing with. That'll just be playing. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to get serious on it. I do a lot. I've got a threshold. I like to take and have it to where I want to take and if I cherry pick a coin and I can make probably $300 on it, then I'll get it slabbed. Because I don't want it coming back, and I don't want somebody trying to jit me or anything like that. So that's pretty much, I'm not going to take $100 coin, spend $30 to get the damn thing slabbed. So I stay a lot with flips too. Well, listen, sir, I'm going to get off of here. It's 3 o'clock. Shit, I've been talking to you for 2 hours and 11 minutes. It's been fun, don't get me wrong, but I got to get my ass to bed because tomorrow is Friday. We got some stuff we got to do here personally, that getting ready for, we got a yard sale coming up that we do, well, see, I get a flat staple. I do flat staples. I don't worry about the staples. You can buy a special staple gun that your staples will take, and they're just smooth as the front side. So I learned that many years ago. But I do have to take and get ready because I do volunteer work too for people, and we're doing a yard sale. So, and it's going to take, and it's to benefit the children. We help support we have a children's Christmas party every year. So that yard sale takes, and it makes some good money for the children. And we have anywhere from 30 to 50 kids every year that if it wouldn't be for us, they would, yeah, good night.